The Super 25 of North American Big Game was introduced into the GSCO family of slams in 2011. Several GSCO members had voiced concerns about the difficulty in obtaining all 29 trophies necessary for the Super Slam, with the polar bear being the number one concern since it couldn't be imported by Americans. There were several other factors, including the desert sheep, Roosevelt and Thule elk, and even a couple of the caribou were showing decreasing numbers of permits. With these and other considerations in mind, GSCO realized there needed to be another level between the Super 10 and the Super Slam. 20 didn't seem to be the right number, so the Super 25 was born. To qualify for this award, one has to have completed the Super 10 with at least one from each of the 10 categories. After the Super 10 is completed, a member can take any additional 15 trophies on the list to qualify for the Super 25. We're going to honor several GSCO members tonight for this milestone, which proves the significance of the second level of North American big game hunting. Please hold your applause until everyone in this group has been introduced, and as your name is called, please quickly make your way to the stage. We begin with William Paulin of California, who is a perfect example of why we instituted the Super 25 in the GSCO family of slams. He's done a great deal of hunting over the years, but has not yet taken two of the more difficult to obtain trophies on the Super Slam list, that being the Shiras moose and the polar bear. You've already seen some of Bill's earliest trophies. First was his tremendous barren ground caribou from Alaska taken in 1984. Then we showed his 1988 Sitka blacktail, also from Alaska. Bill took a California bighorn in 1995, which eventually led to his Grand Slam number 1300. We'll finish up Bill's Super 25 with three of his most recent trophies. First, his pronghorn antelope, taken in 2009, then a Rocky Mountain elk from Idaho taken in 2013, and last we have an Alaska grizzly bear that came in July 2014. Our next Super 25 recipient has been a man on a hunting mission the last couple of years. David Harrison of California reached both the Half Slam and Super 25 in November 2014 when he took a desert bighorn from Carmen Island, Mexico. Backing up a bit, you'll see some of David's trophies from the early 2000s, including a Quebec Labrador caribou from 2002 and a Rocky Mountain elk from 2003. David took an Arizona Coues deer in 2005, and the next three trophies you see all came in 2014. They include a polar bear from Nunavut, a tremendous Alaska Yukon moose from the Alaska Range, and a grizzly bear from British Columbia. Richard L'Esperance qualified for the Super 25 of North American Big Game with a Coues deer taken from Mexico just this month. And at the time we were preparing this video, we didn't have a photo, so we started out showing you Richie's polar bear. Now to a sprinkling of other trophies within his Super 25, we see that in 2006, Richie hunted in NWT and was able to take a mountain caribou. On two separate trips in 2008, he hunted in British Columbia during September and took a grizzly. And then in October, he hunted in Montana and scored with a pronghorn antelope. More recently, in 2013, Richie hunted in Alberta to get a mountain lion, and then in New Mexico for an outstanding Rocky Mountain elk. To represent 2014, see the beautiful Alaska Yukon moose that he took last year. Thomas Lundgren of Nebraska completed his Super 25 and Grand Slam number 1848 simultaneously in January 2014 with a desert bighorn from Carmen Island, Mexico. We're going to back up to 1983 for Tom's first two trophies, which were a black bear and a grizzly bear, both taken on the same hunt in Alaska. Moving a bit closer to the present, Tom got an Alberta bison in March 2008, and later that same year, he traveled up to Nunavut for muskox. Finally, we want to show the Alaska Yukon moose Tom got in September 2010, and now he only needs two elk, one deer, and a polar bear to qualify for the Super Slam. Next to be recognized for completing the Super 25 is GSCO board member Bruce Tatterchuck of Alabama. The only two animals Bruce lacks for the Super Slam are a grizzly bear and Thule elk. We've got a sneaking suspicion he'll be after those last two very soon. The very first photo you saw was of a slightly younger Bruce with a whitetail taken in 1969. We then moved on to some of his more recent trophies, including an Alaska brown bear from May 2012, a woodland caribou from Newfoundland taken in October 2012, a polar bear that came in April 2013, and a Columbia blacktail from Oregon, also from 2013. The most recent two trophies for Bruce are a Barren Ground Caribou and Quebec Labrador Caribou, both of which were taken in 2014. It was a Sitka Blacktail from Alaska that completed the Super 25 for Tim Torpey of Michigan. One of the earliest trophies we have from Tim was his 1998 Quebec Labrador Caribou. Getting closer to the present, Tim took a Nebraska Whitetail in November 2008, and the following year he added a Columbia Blacktail from California to the list. September 2011 found Tim in Nunavut hunting muskox, and he took a great bull there. And finally, in July 2014, Tim traveled to California and collected an exceptional Tule elk. Donald Travis of Maryland has trophies documented back to 1986, but his 1991 Mountain Caribou is up first. He took that tremendous bull from NWT. A few years later, in 1996, Don traveled to Kodiak Island, Alaska, and got one of the big brown bears for which that area is famous. In 2003, he went back to Kodiak Island, but this time for a bit less dangerous prey, the Sitka blacktail deer. Don's Rocky Mountain elk came in September 2006 on a hunt in Colorado, and he arrowed a great Columbia blacktail in California in July 2008. Donald reached the Super 25 in September 2014 when he took a grizzly bear in Alaska. He actually did some more hunting between 2008 and 2014, including completing his Grand Slam number 1555 in 2009. That completes our first group of Super 25 holders. Please give them all a big round of applause. The next group of those who have completed the Super 25 did so by the bow and arrow method. Please hold your applause till everyone in this group has been introduced. As your name is called, please quickly make your way to the stage. We're pleased to recognize bow hunter Ed DeYoung of Michigan for reaching the Archery Super 25 in August 2014 with an Alaska grizzly bear. As a matter of fact, you're going to see Ed honored for completing his Archery Grand Slam in 2014 as well on Friday night, but we'll not give away those details yet. For now, we're going to jump back to October 1998 to show Ed's Barren Ground Caribou from Alaska. Ed's polar bear came in April 2002 and is currently tied for the #1 spot in the SCI record book for archery taken bears. 2007 was a great year for Ed in that he took a muskox from Nunavut in April, a Columbia blacktail from California in August, and wrapped up the year with a Canada moose from Alberta in October. The following year, Ed traveled to Wyoming for antelope and arrowed a fine buck there. And we'll finish up by showing you Ed's woodland caribou from Newfoundland, taken in October 2013. Alan Ladd of Arkansas has built up quite a resume as he makes his way toward the Archery Super Slam. In fact, Alan's only 3 animals away from that milestone, needing 2 sheep and a bison, but tonight we want to recognize him for completing the Archery Super 25. You've already seen some of Alan's earlier trophies, including his polar bear from Resolute Bay, Nunavut, taken in April 2008, and a pair of black bears from Alaska, taken a month later. In January 2009, Alan arrowed a Coues steer near Hermosillo, Mexico. And moving right along, Alan took a whitetail in Kansas on Halloween Day in 2010 and a Montana cougar in December 2011. Alan's Tule elk was taken in 2013, and he reached the Archery Super 25 in October 2013 by virtue of an Alaska brown bear. George Lawrence III of Washington is trying to accomplish a feat only achieved by one other hunter. He's trying to become the second person to complete a second Super Slam by 2 different methods. Bob Spiegel of Texas is the only other person to have both a firearm and archery Super Slam. But tonight we want to recognize George for completing the Archery Super 25. He reached that milestone in November 2014 with an American mountain goat from Kodiak Island, Alaska, which was the first photo that you saw. We then backed up to 1998 and showed George's Montana bison, then moved on to his doll from NWT taken in 2009. George arrowed a great Shiras moose in Wyoming in 2010, and his Alaska Yukon moose came in September 2013. We'll finish up with George's polar bear taken in November 2013 from Coral Harbor, NWT. That concludes this year's presentation of the Super 25. Once again, let's give all of these recipients a big round of applause.